A crowd of hungry nematodes arrive in Bikini Bottom early in the morning and eat a variety of items. Upon reaching SpongeBob's house, they pull out straws and start drinking juice inside it. Meanwhile, SpongeBob and Gary are inside, sleeping, as everything starts to shrink. SpongeBob and Gary wake up and rush into the living room as SpongeBob calls Squidward on the phone, and Squidward asks if it's time for SpongeBob to ruin his day. SpongeBob tries to explain the situation only for the phone is to shrink as well. Then Patrick gets up asking, "Is it already time to ruin Squid's day?" before rushing over elegantly dressed. When Squidward sees that there is nothing left of SpongeBob's house, save what seems to be small pebble, he starts excitedly saying goodbye to SpongeBob, but throws a party inside his house, with confetti and streamers flying out of his front windows. Now that the house is no longer there, SpongeBob says that he will have to move back with his mom and dad. However, Patrick convinces SpongeBob to build a new house. Later, SpongeBob and Patrick attempt to build another pineapple house, but it ends up being a scale model, meaning SpongeBob has no choice but to move away, until Patrick offers to allow SpongeBob and Gary to stay at his house. When SpongeBob and Gary try to sleep, Patrick hogs his rock, which he and SpongeBob are using as a blanket, and they get into a tug of war. Not only does Patrick snore so loud that SpongeBob pokes corks in his ears, but he also begins drooling in his sleep. SpongeBob absorbs the drool and waddles over to Patrick to put a giant cork inside his mouth. Later on, Patrick has dreams that spiders are attacking him and hits SpongeBob repeatedly with the rock, crushing him. SpongeBob decides to sleep far away from Patrick when he has another nightmare. He sleep runs to where SpongeBob is and pounds him with his rock some more before heading back to where he was and going back to sleep the way he normally does. Now fed up, SpongeBob gives up sleeping at Patrick's house and goes to sleep at Squidward's. SpongeBob asks Squidward for a glass of water, and Squidward, who is still half asleep, brings him one. When they say good night to each other, Squidward suddenly wakes up and realizes that SpongeBob is sleeping at his house, and angrily kicks him and Gary out, leaving both of them without a place to stay for the rest of the night. The next morning, Squidward gets up early so he can see SpongeBob move back with his parents. When SpongeBob's parents arrive, Patrick begins crying hysterically and attempts to drag SpongeBob's family car to a stop when Squidward starts dancing and singing. Despondent, SpongeBob buries the pebble from the beginning where his house used to be because it holds too many memories. He begins to tear up, and one tear falls on the spot where the pebble was planted. However, the pebble is actually a seed, and SpongeBob's tear waters the pineapple seed, which causes it to grow and create a massive vine. The vine sprouts a new pineapple house identical to the previous one. He drops it on top of Squidward and retreats underground. SpongeBob is happy that his house came back as he, his parents, and Patrick rush over to go inside, find everything back to where it belongs. SpongeBob then goes over to tell Squidward, who's underneath the floor, he is back forever, much to the cephalopod's dismay.